Have you ever wondered what the easiest, fastest, and cheapest way is to start flying FPV drones? Well, today I'm going to show you my 5-step party system to start flying, along with the best budget gear to buy to get the job done. So, in order to be able to show you all of this in the easiest way possible, first I need to introduce you to your new best friend, the party system. Let's break it down and show you just how it's going to help out. First up, we have the P. P stands for purchase, and it's the essential first step of the system. In fact, without taking this step seriously, you could very well blow massive amounts of money and build up frustration faster than Usain Bolt's 100-meter sprint in the 2012 Olympics.
And here comes Usain Bolt! Usain Bolt storming through, he takes it again!
Trust me, I would know a thing or two. Well, about frustration, that is, not about sprinting at all. Oh, hell no. So, what the heck do you need to complete this first step? Well, honestly, it comes down to either purchasing or finding 3 simple things, with the first being a computer. It doesn't matter if it's a Mac, Windows, Linux, a gaming PC, or just a standard laptop. Most will do the job. Obviously, some are going to do them slightly better than others. But the second thing that you're going to need to figure out is what FPV drone simulator you're actually going to purchase. Now, I've made an entire in-depth video on what the ultimate FPV drone simulator is, so if you want to make up your own mind on that, head on over and watch that. But if you're sticking to this system, I've got you sorted. All you need to do is purchase the DRL simulator. It's regularly on sale, but at most it's going to cost you something along the lines of $10, so it's pretty hard to go wrong here. That then leads us on to our third thing to either purchase or at the very least see if you can borrow. That thing is, of course, an FPV controller. If you're able to score an older one off of a friend, then by all means, utilize the crap out of it. If, however, you're like me and aren't quite so lucky, then your next best bet is to buy this controller here, the Radio Master Pocket ELRS version. Also, don't forget to buy the batteries with it, as I would seriously hate to see you get all excited about using your new controller, only to be disappointed when you end up missing out the batteries. Okay, so that leaves us with a computer that has the DRL simulator downloaded to it, with an FPV specific controller ready to roll as well, all of which leads us perfectly onto the next letter in our party system. Yep, that means we're talking about A, which in this case stands for action. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What action and, oh my English. What action, why can't I say this word? What action am I supposed to take that's going to be easy, fast, and cheap? And you know what? That's a totally valid question, because right now, nothing is going to seem easy, cheap, or fast. But that's where this part of the system kind of comes in to save the day. All you need to do is open up the DRL simulator on your computer, plug your controller in, and get yourself comfortable. From inside the DRL menu, click into Train, Onboarding, Beginner Mode, and then Learn to Fly. You'll need to follow the entire beginner course, which is going to take some time, after which you do also need to move on to the intermediate course too. These 2 onboarding programs are going to teach you the basics of drones and then move you into the full manual FPV experience. And look, you're going to have to trust me when I say that this is going to be one of the most frustrating things that you've done in a long while. And no, I'm not saying that to scare you or anything. Simply, I just need to remind you that learning something new is ultimately really difficult until you've done it a few times, in which case it's not really something new. So if you want to give yourself the easiest and best chance of this, I'd say give this section about 2 weeks minimum, and that's going to let things sink in and make your life ultimately easier. It's certainly possible to get it done faster, as you'll see later on, but I'm just not recommending it. So that then moves us on to the R in our party system. You almost certainly would have found some challenging sections or movements within the past 2 weeks, possibly even still find controlling the drone in a full manual mode is a challenge as well. Whatever it is, it's totally okay. The R stands for repeat, and it's where we actually take another dive back into those extra challenging sections or movements and, well, retry them. It may not feel easy or even less frustrating, but by repeating these challenges, you're actually slowly developing those weaker points and building them back up. Alongside this, make sure you try out some new maps within DRL too. The more variety you can give yourself, the better, and it's going to be so much nicer for you in the long run, as realistically, you aren't actually going to be flying in the exact same environment every time you go out to fly in real life. If you find you want some more realism with your sim flying too, you can always add another simulator to the mix, like Uncrashed or Trip, both of which will work to varying degrees on different computer systems. I find my MacBook handles Uncrashed really freaking well, but trip absolutely terribly. It's always a point of controversy though, so DRL is usually pretty smooth on most systems, hence why I recommend it so highly. It's a happy medium. Now, once you've done a good few weeks of training and repeating challenges, it's then time for a bit of a test to see if you're actually ready to fly a drone. That's why the T in the PARTY system stands for trial test. So, what exactly do you need to do in order to put your newly curated skills to the test? Well, the test is split into two halves, both of which you'll need to be really fully comfortable with before you try to move on. Patience and practice is really going to save your wallet in the long run. Trust me, I would know that. Anyways, part one of the trial test is to be undertaken in a freestyle map, ensuring that you're in pro mode as well. So to get there, head to the fly option, then freestyle, click originals, and then choose between either Mega City, Campground, US Air Force, Boneyard, Gates of New York, or Out of Service. It really doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm just suggesting these maps as they're all nice and large and they all offer plenty of things to do and fly around within them. Now, once you've picked your map, click into it, then go to the freestyle option, and finally, make sure you're on pro mode before hitting that start button. Okay, so here's where the first half of the test really truly starts. What I need you to do is bring yourself up to a hover, not too far from the ground, fly yourself forward for about 2 seconds, slow down, then fly backwards to where you started and land the drone in a similar position to where you took off. Now, I want you to do the exact same thing again, but instead of going forward and backwards, go to your right. So that means up into a low hover, tilt to the right for about 2 seconds, slow down, then tilt back to the left to bring your drone back to where you started, ending the move with a nice soft landing. Repeat the same exercise going backwards, and then after that going to the left. If you can nail all 4 directions, including keeping your height from the ground the same throughout the whole move, then you're ready to tackle the last half of the test. If, however, you find you're really struggling with the control, then it's a good time to just take a moment. Don't get too frustrated. I know how pissed off I felt when trying to do this stuff for the first time, hence why I'm saying this, but now is a good time to just take a step towards improving your skills that little bit more by going through the repeat stage once again. If you're finding all of this way too easy though, that's great news for you because it means moving on to the second half of the test. For this, I want you to start off the exact same way that you did for the first half in either the same or another choice of a large map. Now, I want you to actually imagine that this is really the real deal right now. Really try to make yourself believe that if you crash this drone on this flight, you're actually going to break something and that is going to be coming straight out of your wallet. Now, I get it. You might be thinking,
But Brody, that is absolutely ridiculous. That's the reason that we actually fly in a simulator, so things don't break.
and well, hey, you're damn well correct. However, our next stage after this isn't within a simulator, so I'm just wanting to prepare you as much as possible. Anyways, back to the test. With this new mindset at the forefront of your thoughts, I want you to take off reasonably cautiously and try to fly around for 5 minutes straight, keeping close to the ground and other objects, but really making sure you aren't crashing at all. If you're feeling overly confident, feel free to hit some gaps here, but realistically, if I was in your position, I wouldn't be trying that sort of thing just yet. Now, once you've nailed that 5-minute flight of exploring without crashing once, bring your drone back into land at the exact same spot that you took off at, trying to keep the landing smooth as well. If you manage to smash that test out, then honestly, congrats. I seriously think that you're ready for the 5th stage of the PARTY system. It's a similar story to before, however, if you couldn't quite manage the full 5 minutes of control, go back through the repeat stage again. Truthfully, there's nothing wrong with going back and repeating. You're only going to benefit yourself, your wallet, your time, literally everything. Just drop the ego and go back to that repeat stage. Trust me. Alright, so now you've got the skills tried and tested, it's time for the most enjoyable and rewarding stage yet. We've now got stage Y, which in this system stands for yeet that shit. Now, what I mean when I say that is really buy your first FPV drone, pop on a pair of FPV goggles and go out to a nice large space to have your first ever real FPV flight. If you're now wondering, oh great, now I need a drone and have no idea what I can possibly buy, then you need not worry. This video right here goes through entire FPV drone bundles, including the controllers, drones, goggles, batteries, and chargers from $100 US all the way up to $1,800 US. So there's always going to be an option for you no matter how much you've got to spend, and you can rest assured that it's all future-proofed equipment as well. I'll see you over there.